Hello. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. And yes, the clap is getting louder. So thank you everyone in the comments. So hit like, hit subscribe. What we're going to do is, based on the last video, I did a video for the FKFX Influx, which was a free resonating distortion plugin that I came across randomly. Blew my mind. Off we went. Had to do a video, and I guess it's somewhat going viral for a channel of my size. Check that out. It's an amazing tool. What that did was, though, the support and comments was overwhelming there. So thank you very much for everyone for the support. And it made me sort of go down more of a rabbit hole into free sources. I have 1,000 plugins, right? I've invested money, lots of money over the years into third-party products. And to me, they're still a luxury, but I still use several free tools in production, in mixing, and in mastering. But what that last video did was seeing the support of so many people resonating with. Obviously, that plugin was really good, but being free, and you got developers and companies trying to give out free tools and help producers and people in the music industry, I think is very powerful. So I've gone and found two more that I really like. They're somewhat similar. We have first the M Wavefolder, which is by Melda Production, and then we're going to get into this one here, which is by Tritik, and it's called Krush. So I'll leave that one for now, and we'll start with this. I also did a free kick device called the Kickfucker, which I made in Ableton 11, which is a video I did a few months ago. Check it out. It's had over 1,000 downloads. And, I like sharing helpful information, as you've seen on my channel and previous videos, but offering tools as well outside of just tips of mine, I think is very helpful. So we'll get right into it. This isn't a shootout. I'm not comparing the two. They're just two I liked that I've been using in some sample creation and stuff. They are somewhat similar, but they have their differences within their capabilities. So the Melda and Wavefolder. Reading off the site, and I haven't read the manuals for these, I will, I promise. From mild harmonic enhancement to complete sound destruction. That is true. It is an analog-inspired distortion module with unique carrying ranging from mild harmonic enhancement to complete sound destruction. Okay, so there we go. They've kept it simple, and I like simple. Let's start with that. We're going to run it first on a guitar loop, because sometimes I like to just go subtle to hear what it's doing. Because, for example, we'll listen to it off, right? This guitar loop here, it's a live recorded acoustic sample. And why I like to use distortion on really subtle sounds is because these little parts or passages of different recordings, now we can hear the room, where you can hear finger slides or people in the background. When it's so subtle like that, I love when distortion and other wild effects really bring that out of the original sound source. Because you might have missed it, or it might not paid any attention to you when you first heard it, but when it's now distorted and enhanced, that original sound like this may very well turn into something that you could use now that you've heard it processed. So the context of sound, especially when you hear it, isn't be all and end all, because especially if you're processing, we know that we can take it and really fuck it up and go further than that. So I'll loop it on this, let's say. We're on a default setting. What we're looking at is drive, output, dry, wet, character. Well, you can enter that. Symmetry, non-linearity, pre-high pass, pre-low pass, post-low pass. We've got oversampling. You'll see here we have a toolbar. Where is it? You can shrink these. So you can just have this. You can obviously see what's happening to the waveform here. You have a toolbar and you got the meters. So if you have them both open, this is the plugin fully expanded. In here is the source where you can process left and right, mid-side. So it's got some capabilities there. So if we go left even, if you're listening in stereo, you'll hear it. We can drive the left side, but the right is unprocessed. So that's pretty cool. this could fall into your mixing toolbox or even just your general sound design. Anyway, let's run through it. It's got presets here, which is handy just for good starting points. But again, all these plugins are kicking ass with this random button. Random is the way. So this random button is changing the presets. So let's check this out. Yeah, okay, it's just changing the presets, not internal settings of the preset. So what can we do? This is my point. With it off, we've got a subtle passage of a live guitar recording, right? It's not appealing to me. But when I forward think of what it could sound like, and look what it's doing to the waveform here. What I'm saying is, a sound I didn't have much interest for. When we hear it distorted, and we'll keep this over there. And this is just a quick example. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but more so demonstrating sound. Point being is you can start getting sounds that you could start using in your track from, you know, an acoustic guitar. Not even, we took a small passage of that, but that's the beauty of these distortion plugins, is that we can do that. And I covered this in my masterclass, use of distortion, where the starting point or the original sound source you hear, you don't really have to like it either. You can have an intention for it, but because if you are going to go down the distortion route, it's going to take it to another place you didn't even imagine, and it might be useful once you get there. So let's turn that off. So on a simple acoustic channel, let's fuck that off. Let's go here. And in here, it had limiter, and it's got different presets, I think. Oh, so you get A, B. That's loud. Let's fuck that off. Where'd it go? What happened there? Sorry, I'm not that familiar with this yet, but you can see it there. Okay, so you can pick your settings for your graphs and stuff over here. There's some more info there. Okay, you can bring up the meters on their own. Change inputs, which I went through. Yeah, here, limiter. You can play with that as well. And then, yeah, that's the shrink, Okay, gotcha. Yes. So, going through the presets. Astronaut transform. You can hear you getting that sort of alien-y sound. Yeah, the main factor is going to be the drive pushing this, and then sort of tweaking what else you have available. Now, let's put on Krush. I like this one. It's very easy to look at. It's very simple, and it's a big crusher. But the only reason why I'm sort of showcasing it, because there's heaps of big crushers out there, and there's one in Ableton as well, is it's got random, and you can modulate the main parameters. So you've got a drive, you've got the crush, you've got the downsample, then you've got the filter and the resonance, right? But then you can also link the dry wets between each other. So you might sort of blend to taste, get it into a pocket, hit this link button, and then they're going to move in uniform. Then with the modulation, you can free or sync the rate, change the shape, and then modulate like that. So you can do it internally. It's like a one-stop shop, whereas even though Ableton has a bit crusher, you'd be using and mapping LFOs or envelope followers to sort of do stuff like that, whereas you can just do it here. Also, a cool feature is you can freeze a parameter. So if you dial it in, say you get the drive to where you like it, you could freeze the drive or go blue. Then you can fuck with it, hit random, and do whatever you want, but that drive setting will stay the same. So that can be helpful as well. But let's clear that. This has presets as well. These have been designed. This one says by Manning. I'm not sure who that is. But then there's modulations, there's effects, and there's crushing. So you got a few of that. You can also reach that freezer section I just showed you here in the drop-down menu. Now, it's not life-changing, but I've found it's a useful tool because it is all in one and it is simple to look at, and I like the look of it for user experience. We'll start with the drive. Let's unlink these. And what I like about the drive, it's an overdrive, right? We've heard a million of them, but it gets enough out of it before it fucks it, before I wouldn't use it, so I like that. Blend back up. So let's say that link tool's nice. But yeah, down sampling. You can start to really mess around with it. The filter, you can switch between low pass and high pass. So you can do a bit of EQing, resonance, but again, going into more so the modulation. So like if I like the drive, let's sync it. Let's go like this. Let's go a bit faster. You can hear it's like a tremolo. Excuse me. So you get the point, but let's fuck that off. Let's get the kick drum going. That's what we're here for. So let's start with crushing the kick drum. Alright, so raw. Let's turn the filter off. So again, this is nothing nuts, but I found this being useful. It's just all in one. So we've got, I really like the drive on it. It brings out a lot. It doesn't completely destroy it. It's still usable. Saying, like, let's say I dial in the drive and the crush and I like it, but I want a bit of down sample, but it's too constant. But then I can get that movement from the down sample circuit, so it's not just flat out smothering the original sound source. I can have it come in and out. We get a bit of a bounce from it, which I like. So we can do the same for crush. So that's how I've been using it. And I did this on a tom loop in one of my tracks earlier. I would get the drive where I want it, and then I want a bit of the crush and I want a bit of the down sample, but not constant. I found if I just left it on, I didn't really like how it was sounding. But having the modulation and dialing that in, I liked where it could just appear and give it more movement. So that's how I've personally been using it. You get some more grit, you know, with opening and closing filters. But yeah, we can do the same with the resonance and the frequency. Then we can do a bit of a low cut and then automate. I like it. It gives it that movement. It's fucking mad. Go a bit higher. speed it up. Let's go back down. So yeah, dialing in the drive, get your crushing down sampling where you want it, and then automate that in to give it some movement so it's not just smothering the whole fucking mix. Now, beauty of this is it does have presets already. Obviously, they're somewhat going to be the same because it's quite a simple effect. It's a big crusher with automation. So it's not going to get too crazy in between, but it's good to have different starting points. It's got the AB option, which is great if you want to tweak a subtle difference. But look, the presets are good. Get to a starting point, tweak it from like for taste. You got the freeze option to lock in a parameter, or hit the fucking random button. Good thing about the random is when there's LFOs, it might spit out a modulation setting that you might not have lent towards, or you might not typically use, but it'll be there, and then you can tweak from there or even keep it, and then sample the fuck out of it. So that's the Tritik Krush. Simple, but I think it's effective because it's all there. Now, the Wavefolder, a lot more aggressive. Well, you can really fuck the Krush up too, but this is more aggressive, and even though you can get this screaming, I think it sounds somewhat too much the same every time you sort of cycle through stuff, but hopefully I can prove myself wrong right now. I find the most crucial setting here is the drive, right? But once we sort of tweak it too high, it'll always sound the same because we're just driving it. But that's where you're going to have a play with. But what I do like about this one is when we dial in the dry wet 100%, especially if the drive's really aggressive, you'll lose the original sound source, and you can maybe resample, then save what the actual effect's doing. So that's handy, and you know I love that. But we can tweak it and get percussion sounds too. I think the best thing to do is get the drive where you want it, and then fuck with the filtering. That's nice. Let's turn it off. I'm just going through presets now. But you'll see this. What I like about this sort of plugin having presets is you're going to have some subtle ones where you might, you know, and if that's more to your taste, it might be a better pocket for you to start, but then we can go through and have some that are just, you know, a bit more intense that might be suited to your style as well. This could be helpful too if you tweak high pass and low pass, get into a pocket and then distort that. Yeah, because now you might get, before you get another, this sample pack's coming soon, it's going to be hectic. More info to follow. The good thing is, if you tweak that filter area, like we've done here, the high pass and low pass, you can, you know, more so use it as a band pass to then just affect that area. So then get something useful. So that's how I would use it. and then sort of tweaking what you. So I would do it that way to get some nice textures out of it. Then, if you want to be a full-blown mag cunt, you'd throw the Krush back on. See what you can get out of it. I like that high-end crunch. Obviously, I haven't set up a sidechain. I'm not doing any EQing. Everyone take it easy. But it's just an insight to more free tools. So I'll stop it there. I'm carrying on. But the Tritik Krush, excuse me, there is a pro version which has a lot more capability. So check that out if you like that. And the Melda, yes, Melda Production Wavefolder, I like. I'm not going to compare them. They're just two different tools that you can use, even though they're somewhat similar. The Wavefolder, I'd get the filters into a pocket and fuck with that, and then I'd use the Tritik for its modulation of probably the Krush and the downsampling to see where that gets me. I've obviously just used it on a kick drum and a guitar sample. Be creative, throw anything in there to see where it can take you. And yeah, so check them out. I'm just finding tools and giving them out. I don't work for these companies. There's nothing going on like that, but just check them out. If you like them, let me know below what you thought of them. If you'd use them, if you're downloading them, I want to know. I want to know if you're using them or not. That's just out of curiosity. But yeah, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you very much. Knocks out. Ciao.